Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm pretty sure you heard this many times, and that is the Ukrainians are winning, the Russians are losing. The Russians only destroy kindergarten, schools, hospitals, civilian targets, and when they launch any missile attacks or drone attacks on Ukraine, they are mostly hit by the Ukrainians, and their debris fall down and sometimes destroy a few things, okay? But mostly they're not successful. That's how the story goes. Well, I have here a little article that will actually challenge that view. And the article comes from Ukrainska Pravda. And again, these guys are discussing in an article the glasses, and I give you the analogy. Hey, the glasses are so good, so fantastic. And when they discuss, let's say, the iPad, they tell you something about you need glasses to read, old people like me. But nevertheless, don't buy these glasses because these glasses suck. And that little thing tells you about how good the glasses are, something that the articles on the glasses did not tell you. So the same here. They tell you, as I said, the Russians don't destroy anything, are not good, their missiles are not accurate. And now we find out through a different article that actually they are very accurate and they blew up a lot of businesses. Let me show you. I have no doubt that happens. Ukrainska Pravda. 37 defense businesses affected by Russian attacks. Ukrainian Prime Minister. Now this is Shmihal. Right here, like a king. I'm gonna tell you this little story before we get deeper than this. There was someone, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Dr. Norman Finkelstein. Look for him. He's supposed to be a self-hating paparap. And Zelensky Stein. And Finkelstein, Zelensky. Anyway, he said something, we become too visible. And when we become too visible, the other groups will see us and they will build resentment. And we're going to be in danger again. So, and I read some other ones making the same claim. Well, they try to tone down, don't be so visible, like Zelensky, Stein, Shmihal, Blinken, Newland, now the defense minister or secretary of UK, the former ambassador to Ukraine. All these guys, and not only the new investment, US investment, blah blah blah, another one. So they become very, if you look in their, if you want to look and find, you want to find it, and they become visible. And when they become visible, people would ask the question, how come? But like, for instance, there's no Romanians, but they are these guys. What's going on here? Oh, it's a coincidence. Okay, move on. So this little picture here, again, this one with Zelensky, I have some other ones. They expose themselves, and the Ukrainians are not as you think, or as these guys are trying to portray them as. Why? I personally know that. Anyway, what do I mean by that? I think you know what I mean by that. Denis Shmihal, Prime Minister of Ukraine, appointed by Zelensky Stein, elected by the Ukrainian nation, all right, has stated that 37 defense industry businesses in Ukraine have been affected by Russian attacks. How come? How is it possible? And I'm quoting, our defense industry remains one of the main targets for Russian missile strikes, which have affected 37 businesses. I think it's more than 37, but anyway, they claim, Shmihal again, he said that, Shmihal, no, it was Yermak, I think, and Yermak is another Zelensky Stein, chief of staff of the Ukrainian nation presidency. He stated that he was, or Danilov, but anyway, Danilov is a Ukrainian. So Danilov said that Ukraine moved its arms industry, or at least some businesses that build drones or other missiles, abroad. Why? Because the Russians are effective. Otherwise, why would you move them? Again, side articles on the issue of Russians being effective. I guarantee you that if you go over the media and just Google, you're going to find out that most articles, I would say 99% of them are, wow, my God, these guys are blowing all the Russians, as I said at the beginning of this video. And that's not true. But they tell you now that, wait a second, we're going to move our industry abroad. How is that possible? Now they have a little alliance military industry, arms industry alliance. Now, that's how they call it, or something like that. In Kiev, they just closed it, and they want countries to build weapons in Ukraine. Well, how do you build weapons in Ukraine if the Russians are going to destroy them? Maybe after they win. All right, let's go back to the article here. The Prime Minister said that the government is currently working on additional proposals for their rebuilding. They're rebuilding because they were blown up. I add the idea here. Shmihal also stated that the strengthening of cooperation with foreign manufacturers and the involvement of foreign companies in the production of weapons in Ukraine is a short-term and strategic goal of the country. No, I think it's a long-term. I think, as I made a video a minute ago, showing that I think Ukraine becomes a military or a weapons industry, arms industry hub. That's all what you're going to do over there. Cheap labor with no regulations. You see. The Prime Minister said that everyone understands the risks, but everyone should also understand that Ukraine will become a new center for producing military products in Europe. Why not globally? The private sector is the key partner of the government. What private sector? The Prime Minister said in 2023 the government started several experimental projects for the production of various types of drones and also systematically simplified bureaucratic procedures. That means no regulations for the production of various types of equipment and weapons. Invest here, you're going to do what the fuck ever you want. And I'm quoting, the Russian regime dreamed of the demilitarization of Ukraine, but Ukraine is increasing the production of weapons and military equipment every month. So you want to be a militarized country? If you say yes, then you should agree then with North Korea and other countries that try to get more weapons. No? Why? Oh, because they're bad? Because we say so. Got that. All right, that's how the story goes. So anyway, my friends, war is peace and peace is war. It's true that you have to be prepared to defend yourself. That's true. But then to say that only like this you can protect yourself? How about discussing with the other side? How about solving problems, negotiating, discussing, opening a conversation? No? Well, obviously you're like, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm ready for you. All right. Well, imagine that with a neighbor of yours. Let's say the neighbor that you have you share a fence, let's say, and your property and the neighbor. And you don't talk to the neighbor, but he said, if you step on my property or whomever from your family, I will chick you. And you say, yeah, if you come over, I'm going to brrrr you. Now you got that point. You can't possibly find a middle ground. You can't. And that is why. Probably the issue is I want your property. I want everything you got. And therefore, the other guy says, you know what? I'm going to arm myself. Well, you can look at that like that on Ukraine. You can look at that at North Korea. You can look at Iran and other countries. Nobody touches North Korea. Why? We're ready. But then they say, no, Korea should demilitarize itself. But not Ukraine. We should invest more in Ukraine. Cheap labor, my friends. Cheap labor. And as I said, they will just do what the hell they want over there. Thank you very much for being with me again today. And they were successful because they move out and 37 defense businesses affected. I think it's more than that, but they can't be so panicking right here. Like, oh my God, ooh, because that would be people like me and others, or people like me, they would observe, note that, hey, wait a second. You said they're losers and now you tell us that 37 industries affected by that? Businesses, not the industries. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.